This is the tutorial for step 3 of FORCsensei processing, and this is where we can choose the data pre-processing options that will be applied to the data in the file that we've uploaded. So this is simple to do. We just click the pre-process options button. A new menu appears. This gives us information about the sample, for example the sample name, which is actually just extracted from the file name, sample mass, which I'll come back to, linear slope correction, and then a number of FORC specific processing techniques such as measurement drift correction, removal of first point artifacts, removal of last point artifacts. Now, to go through these, if we wanted to change the sample name, we could do. That's no problem. You can just type in a new sample name. Sample mass, default value is set as -1. Now, if there was mass information included in the header of the data file, it would appear in this box. But if the header doesn't contain any mass information, then the number -1 is entered. Now, if you don't want to perform mass normalized calculations, you can just enter -1. So even if you had a mass in your header, but you don't want to use that mass in the calculations, just enter -1. Alternatively, you can simply enter the mass of your sample in grams, for example, 5 grams in this box. Now, I'm not going to use mass normalization, so I'm just going to enter -1. The next is high field slope correction, where the number here corresponds to the percentage. So if we have 70, we'll take the top 70% or the from the saturating field, 70% of the saturating field, apply a linear regression and do a slope correction in the same way that we do for hysteresis loops. Now you can change that number using the slider, or you can just simply type it in. I'm going to use 70. If you didn't want to do high field slope correction, you'd simply put in 100 and slope correction wouldn't be performed. But like I said, I'm going to use 70. Now for FORC processing, we nearly always have to do a correction for drift, so I'm going to tick that one. And commonly we also have to do first point artifact correction as well. In some systems or some samples, you may need to do a last point artifact, in which case you can check that box. But in this case, I'm not going to check it because we don't need it for the example specimen that we're going to analyze. Once you've chosen the different pre-processing options, then you can move on to step 4.